The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Thanks to the noble gas laws that New Englanders have become so familiar with, we float high in a Connecticut sky looking down at Thompson Speedway, which tonight plays host to round 8 of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw series for the SK Modifieds. And you'll be able to watch all the action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. In 15 minutes, the flagman will let the green flag wave in front of a roaring collection of SK Modifieds cars, giving them permission to dive into the first corner of this 100-lap event. So get the nerdy neighbor kid next door to help you route the internet to your television. Get a plate of snickerdoodles and something age-appropriate to wash them down with. Pull the lever on the Lazy Boy recliner and enjoy the 62.5 miles of simulated short-track excitement that will be streaming your way. Hello everyone and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host Bill Soups On. Helping me call the action is someone who grew up in the world of short track modifieds, and that is my friend Sean Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting, Joe Peak, and at his disposal will be the visionary camera locations provided by the renowned Dougie Beard. Well, if you were with us last time at Five Flags, and shame on you if you weren't, you witnessed Philip Temples hold off Ryan Nuss to become the series' 7th different winner in as many races this season. Sean, tonight for round 8, the series travels up the eastern seaboard, and if we are to see an 8th different winner, or if we're going to see our first 2-time winner, it all happens on the pavement that is Thompson Speedway.
Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, Bill, opened in 1940. 76 years of racing, just celebrated back on May 26th, Memorial Day weekend. Bill, legendary track here in the Northeast, and so glad to have it here on the iRacing service. 5/8 of a mile. Yes, sir. 26 degrees of banking. Brother, this is a fast one, a really fast one. It's a really legendary modified races here. The modified tour, I believe, has run something like 176 races here since they started running, Bill. That's a lot of modified laps on this fast 5th 8 mile. I've gabbed about it enough. We do have a ride-along with the GSRC SK Modified.
Hello, this is James Carhula in the GSRC SK Modified. I'm going to take you for some laps around the Thompson Speedway. A lot of high banking here in the corners with a lot of room to run. Look for these cars to get up side by side as they venture up the racetrack to find more grip, especially with that newer patch of asphalt there in the second groove. Another thing that's going to be important in these SK Modifieds is going to be brakes after these long straightaways and tight corners. Down low in these corners, you do not have a lot of banking to hold your car into the track, so it is very easy to get the car upset coming off of the corners. But if you are able to keep your momentum up, you have plenty of opportunity to duck down low and make a pass going into these hard braking zones that we have here at the racetrack. Look for a lot of opportunity to go side by side here in these SK Modifieds, especially as the tires start to wear out later on in the run. Get your car working through the corners and a good drive off, the hard braking in, and you will have a successful race here at the Thompson Speedway.
There's a lap around Thompson's. And now what we're going to do is see if we can talk to one of the drivers out there to tell you that what the track was like during the daytime. Now we'll see what it's like right now at this very minute. We'll see if Sean can run down one of the drivers that's out there right now.
Bill, I have driver the number 98, J.R. Shepard. Second in the championship hunt right now. J.R., welcome in this evening. How's the car feel here at Thompson tonight?
Thanks, Sean. It doesn't feel too bad. The temperatures are fairly decent out there, so a lot of grip in the track, but it's still pretty line sensitive.
And when you talk about line, where's your favorite one around this old joint?
Middle to the top side is usually the best, as long as you don't get up in the marbles.
Try to run it down too low for down low for too long, or you may be looking at a lot of tire wear here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this track will definitely wear your tires out fast if you keep it down there too long.
Yeah, it's an old surface, and definitely making the right rear angry at this track probably not a good thing. Expect to see a lot of side-by-side racing tonight?
I think we will. Earlier in the night, the super late model race, it went pretty well. We'll have to see. I think we can have a decent race as long as the initial start goes well.
Yeah, and that start will be important. That's the only time you guys will be side by side. It'll be single file the rest of the way tonight. How do you like your chances tonight, JR?
The car felt pretty decent, so I think I got a decent shot at it, but I'm probably starting near the back of the field due to last time out.
All right. Well, hey, we wish you the best. I hope we get a chance to talk to you again here in just a bit.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, that was J.R. Shepard, driver of the number 98 SK Modified here in the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series. Bill, hope good things for JR tonight. It's going to be tough. This is it's a very fast track. It's hard to get around. Very competitive here.
Well, he's got one win under his belt so far this season. Let's bring up the point chase right now. If he wants to get back in this championship race, he's going to have to see if he can pick up a win here pretty soon. Now, winning a race is nice, winning a championship is better, and no one can attest to that better than Donnie Moore, who is experiencing just such a situation. You see Moore out there in front, still winless this season, but with a 6-point lead over J.R. Shepard that we just talked to. Now, Shepard, Ryan Nuss, Jeff Sharp, and Matt Shinosky all have wins so far, but are still trailing Donnie Moore in the championship. Now, if viewers can't get on the track and race with these guys, and there's no more room in the GSRC booth, there is another way that you can be part of this great series. Sean, what would that be?
Absolutely, Bill. You can have your name on this series, the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series. They want you. They want to get with you, market with you or your company. Looking for partners and sponsors, contact Lowell and the guys over at bootlegracingleague.com/sponsorship. They are eager to sign up some sponsors for next season coming up here. We only have 4 races left to go, and they'll be ready to get back after it with season 2. So hit them up. They'd love to hear from you.
And Lord knows that the team in the GSRC announcing booth will do our very best to promote that your organization or business as well. Whatever your sponsor is, come on down. Hook up with the Bootleg Racing League here. Sean, let's talk a second about one of the unique features about this series that I really like, and that's the inverted gridding. There is no qualifying, but they invert the grid based on the previous race results.
They do, and last week saw Phil Temples. I'm sorry, not last week, but a couple weeks ago. We were off for the holiday weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend. I know the boys here at the Bootleg Racing League, they enjoyed theirs. And Five Flag Speedway, Phil Temples was the winner. Phil's going to have to start at the not at the back, but in 8th this evening. They will invert the top 8. Let's see. Tim Shinosky was the 8th place. I do not see him here right now, so that'll shuffle around just a bit. Ryan Nuss finished second, and Richard Blake rounded out the podium there last week. But they'll be inverting that grid. And another cool thing about this series, Bill, there's only one fast repair, but there's no tire changes allowed. You can't put that car up on the jack, so you got to be very careful about how you get into the pit if you wreck that thing up early. There are 100 laps, so it's a pretty risky proposition, especially when you try to go side to side here.
And we've seen goers and comers, especially, I think it came into effect last race at Five Flags with a sandpaper pavement that they have there, that the tires started to go away on these cars at the end. Sean, do you have any knowledge of what this track is like? Do you think it's going to be similar here, or is this track a little kinder to the rubber?
Honestly, this is really old surface on this track, and I believe iRacing built that into it. You'll probably see some pretty good tire wear here. 100 laps it's a long way to go. I was at a modified race last Saturday night in Riverhead, New York, at the famous Riverhead Raceway. I thank them for having me as their guest. But that surface is old and abrasive, and where that's a little bit smaller track than this one, that old abrasive surface is not good on that rubber. There'll be a little bit of heat in this track. The temperature conditions, not too bad tonight. We've got 66 degrees outside and 67 degrees on the track. But again, the surface being as old as it is will be a factor. I do think we'll see these cars sliding around just a bit. Side by side is going to be very risky late in the run.
And Sean, the broadcast is not about us in the booth, but I think the viewers would appreciate maybe the reason why you were invited to go to that track.
Well, Bill, thank you. My grandfather, my late grandfather, was inducted into the Riverhead Raceway Hall of Fame. So we were very honored to be there for that. And it was a really great time. It was nice to be around some modified racing on a Saturday night.
So when I tell you in the opening that Sean Ambrose grew up in this series, he cut his teeth on this type of racing. He's been here since he was a little boy, watching Granddad build the cars, and Dad was a racer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he drove for my grandfather and won a lot of races in that old 7-Eleven.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the practice times that we have going on here. And look at that. Our last race winner, Philip Temple's up on the top of the practice time doing an 18.7. Now, remember, that really doesn't have any effect on where he's going to grid, but it might give a good indication of how he's going to race. I'm looking at that, Sean, and one thing sticks out at me, and that's the driver who's fourth fastest on the qualifying, and that's Lowell Jewell. He's a former champion, not really the force in this series this season that he has been in the past.
Not really, but Lowell's been a busy guy. Administering a league, you may know a little bit about this, Bill, and competing in that league. When you have many divisions and lots of races going on every week, can be a very, very tough proposition. These guys already ran here twice this evening, and that was the Whiskey Run Truck Series. Saw Tim Knott win, and then Brian Neff won the Crooked Still late model race. And so again, a lot of work for Lowell to do. A lot of things for him to focus on. They run also on Tuesday nights, and so when you have to split your time between doing that and focusing on racecraft, it can be tough.
And Lowell, or at least the powers behind the scenes at Bootleg Racing League, has made my life a little easier today. And I apologize to the hardship that it causes the Ness family. But we talked about Brian Ness winning a race earlier today. He won't be with us today. He's on suspension for one race for being a little too, well, I would like to say aggressive. My partner Ayrton Ellis likes to say confident. But he was a little too confident in his racing, so Brian Ness won't be with us. And why that makes my life easier is I don't have to worry about getting Brian Ness and Ryan Nuss confused. We just have Ryan with us today. I think I can handle that one.
Yeah, and I'm sure Neff will Neff with an F will enjoy hearing that, Bill. It's the old Neff and Nuss thing, man. It just kills you every time.
I already got it confused.
That's a tough break for Neff tonight. He got the big win, and now he's got to sit one tonight. Now, Phil Temples, he was given a warning also for over-aggressive racing. Now, that was his first offense, so it was just a warning. But Phil going to have to be on his best behavior Looks like he has the speed to maybe keep himself out of trouble tonight. We'll see, Bill.
Well, if you watched that race last week, it was Temple's doing a little bit of payback there. A little bit of that's what short track racing's all about. Come on. All right, we have the grid coming up, so let's go ahead and call the grid now. On the front, now this is interesting. On the front will be your points leader. He did not have a strong race last time. Maybe this is an opportunity for Donnie Moore to pick up his first win as he'll be starting on the pole. Outside of him, John Holcomb, outside of row 1. Now the second row is going to be made up by Jeff Sharp and Richard Blake outside of him. A couple names I'm not quite as familiar with. Sean, you probably are more familiar with them because you've been on the series the whole time. Ryan Nuss and Philip Temples. Now, Temples coming off the victory last time at Five Flags. And then the fourth row, Tim Knott and J.R. Shepard, our pre-race interview. Shepard starting in 8th. The fifth row, Joe Marks and Ralph Connor. Sean?
All right, let's do it. So that's going to put Ryan Nuss. Ben Wolfson inside of row 6. Mike Holloway starting outside of row 12. Starting outside row 6 there in 12. New to the series tonight, Mike Mahoney had been invited on in the race. He'll start 13th. Lowell Jewell starting 14th. Lucas Denziano racing from the great state of Wisconsin. I believe he said he was in Elkhart this evening, racing remotely. He is on holiday here in these great United States, and big shout out to Lucas this evening.
And speaking of holiday, or rather Holloway, keep an eye on Mike. I think it's about time for him to get up there, get himself an 8th place finish, put him on the pole. I'm not looking for a great race this week, but watch for him to sneak up there into 8th, start from the pole, and see maybe if he can be one of our new winners. But right now, all eyes are on Donnie Moore out there in car number 26. He's at the top of the points, but has not tasted the champagne for winning a race so far this season. Maybe he's just waiting for the end here. Race 8 could be his time. The pace car is in. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, Heidi-ho! Donnie Moore leads them down across the start-finish line and into the first corner. Moore followed by Holcomb, ducking in right behind him.
Donnie Moore did not waste any time on that start. He got the jump on everybody, breaks out to the lead. Side-by-side racing just behind them. Tim Knott stuck up on the outside, battling with J.R. Shepard as they go across the line, down into 1.
And Shepard gets that sorted out, grabs 7th place. Knott tucks in behind.
Ralph Connor was looking to the inside there, Bill. Phil Temple's just up in front of those guys. He's down on the inside with Nuss up top.
Nuss was able to get the good bite off of 4 to keep that position in that blue and white number 13 machine, with Temples right behind him in that dark machine number 19. That's a battle for 5th spot right there. But up ahead, Richard Blake in 4th and Jeff Sharp in 3rd. But your leaders are still Donnie Moore and John Holcomb.
Yeah, John Holcomb was a little loose coming out of 4 that last time by. He got really close up to the wall. I don't think he made any contact as they come back around to the start-finish line. They are single file all the way around, Bill.
Working lap number 5 of 100. This race will go by quickly if they can stay green the whole way. So if you haven't got your plate of snickerdoodles yet, get them right now and start eating. Meanwhile, keep an eye on that yellow machine back there. Richard Blake in 4th in car number 66, looking to find a way around Jeff Sharp. Sharp going a little bit high, having trouble getting that car down. It looks like that yellow machine of Blake might be able to duck inside as they run still 1, 2, 3, 4 ahead, 1, 2, 3 ahead of them.
And Bill, everybody right now running up in that middle groove of the track. Nobody really digging down low yet. Ooh, Ryan Nuss with a little bit of contact across the start-finish line. He grabs a little bit of concrete in those rims.
Yeah, the successful driver might be the driver who can make it work where they ain't. But right now, right, Sean, it is the middle groove. If you could get your car to work low, you got a shot at it. Still peeking out. We watched 6th place there at Philip Temples. Let's take a look at this. This is pretty exciting. Temples seems to have the pace. That's Nuss ahead of him. Temples now trying to duck underneath. Not sure if they're going to be able to get this done. Passing is so hard in this series, which what makes that inverted top 8 grid so cool.
Yeah, well, Phil looking for an opportunity. He saw Ryan make just a bit of a mistake there, and now he's looking for another opportunity to get him. Gets a really nice run off of turn 2, but can't get enough of a run to get into turn 3. Let's see what he can do here out of 4. Looks to the inside, but now he's going to tuck in. Now he's got J.R. Shepard right there on his bumper. He's got to be careful. Nice run off the 2. Phil's really digging, man.
Good bite off of 2. I think that's maybe where he might be able to tuck inside of him a 3. Doesn't seem to get quite the bite off of 4. Let's watch him again. Boy, this is the best action on the track right now. He is nosed up in there, but he can't do it now. He falls a little bit back. Watch the drive. He gets off of 2 now. Let's see. Not going to get it done this time.
Yeah, he did. I think he missed his entry just a little bit that time around. He's digging hard. It's allowing Donnie Moore up front, though, to really stretch this out quick. Donnie is running. Wants that first win of the season. Our points leader, hungry for it, looking for an 8th different winner in 8 races tonight, Bill.
And with so far, if everything holds strong, look at that, gets a little bit wide on top there now as Nuss leaves an opening. Actually, Nuss touches the wall, and that's going to let Temples get that position. Now trying to follow him through is the driver in the popcorn position is Shepard, but look at the drive, Nuss again up in the wall.
Nuss just trying to hang on to it. Oh, Phil has to get out of it. Phil had to get out of the gas and gives it back to Nuss.
Temples had that pass done. Nuss just drove it in so great. Look at the drive he gets again. Temples with a great bite off of 2, and now tries to tuck it in. Nuss has to go high. Look at Temples now going to try to get the bite off of 4. They go side by side, but again, that outside groove. And now the driver watching the whole thing, trying to make the outside work is Shepard. Great battling going on there, Sean, for 5th.
It is a great battle indeed. Like you said, it's the best battle on the track right now. Early on, the 15 laps in the book, coming around to 16, Nuss still managing to hold him off.
Nothing, you're not missing anything up at the top 4. They are running about 4 or 5 car lengths apart. This is the action right here as you watch Nuss in that blue and white machine number 13. Having trouble keeping the car low, being pressured by Philip Temples. And Temples cannot be too patient because he's got a very, very, very aggressive J.R. Shepard back there watching the show.
Contact him not around. Coming off of turn 2, he's spun by himself. The green flag is still out, but he did make side-by-side contact.
Connor. Yeah, I think maybe he got in there with Ralph Connor. No yellow flag, though.
He was able to save the car. He didn't hit anything. You'll see just a little bit of contact. It was enough to send him around. He's down on the inside there, the number 41.
Boy, that's such a gentle touch, but the car is, maybe that's the worst place to make contact right there.
Yeah, but it's the best spot to run off if you're going to run off here, and he didn't get into the wall, and the car is still straight, and he's got a lot of work to do, but again, he's still got a good race car.
Okay, while we were watching that, something has happened to Temples. Let's see if we can find out what it is. He's gone. Temples has fallen back to 12th spot. That was while we were doing on replay. It was on lap 17. And our director did a great job of finding that.
Yeah, let's pull that back up on the replay here. Tough break for Phil.
Ryan Nuss might have got just a little bit squirrely coming out of 4, maybe came down a little bit on Temples. Nuss's left rear made contact with Temples' right front. Temples back in the hunt. A yellow flag now is what he needs, but now he's out of the mix. And now let's go to Nuss right now in 6th position. Oh, sorry, I was on replay. Let's go ahead and update it then. J.R. Shepard, since we've been talking and watching the replay, Shepard has got around Nuss now to finally get that 5th position taken care of. And here comes Ralph Connor and Ben Wolfson.
Yeah, Ben's starting to really put together a good run. The car looks solid. He's got a really nice strip around the outside line. Oh, a little bit of contact, and now he's in the wall. I just cursed the poor soul. But he's hanging in there. Getting a nice run off the turn, almost makes contact with Ralph Connor. Wolfson puts the power down and gets by him, though.
Nuss was your 9th fastest in practice right now, so what I really think is happening here is the equilibrium is taking over there. The drivers who were up front starting to fall back where they belong. Ben Wolfson practiced 7th fastest, but a great run from Ralph Connor. Actually, he goes a little bit wide. He qualified 12th fastest. That's going to let Joe Marks take that position. Marks moves up into that very precious, Sean. That's the 8th position that is a prize spot right there for Joe Marks.
Okay, listen, there's a battle going on here just behind them. Lowell Jewell managing to hold off Phil Temples, but just behind Phil Temples, you've got Mike Holloway, Lucas Tiziano back there. They were all just up in a group, like three cars together, and they've spread out a little bit now, but they were awful racy there a moment ago, still trying to put the power down. Phil Temples still trying to recover. Just can't seem to get back on his horse quite yet, Bill.
Yeah, Temples certainly has the pace to get up there. He's got quite a log jam ahead of him. And the biggest log of all right now is Ryan Nuss in that 13 machine. Everyone tried to get around him. There goes Ben Wilson. Nuss in the wall again. Once, twice in the wall.
In front of everybody right there, too. Everybody having to make an evasive move, including Lowell Jewell. Phil Temples gets down inside of him. Here comes Holloway.
That car for Nuss just not working there.
Oh, Stiziano's around. And he catches it.
Look at that catch by the 57 of Stiziano, but then he turns it around, and it was enough to bring out the yellow.
Tim Knott gets into him right in front of the leader as he's backing up back down towards the infield.
Oh, I hate. Maybe Knott could have slowed down some. Maybe he was still going full song, but boy, I've seen enough. It's just hard for me not to. They pay us to place the blame, and I just don't like it when drivers don't keep it locked up while you're sitting on the track there. Yeah, I know it's scary. I know you're sitting there, you're worried about being T-boned, and maybe you think you're doing everybody a favor by trying to get in the car off, but you're really not.
Well, Stiziano's got to bring it in. He's got some damage on that car.
Now
He's
remember,
away.
There's no need for fuel. These drivers have enough fuel, and there's no reason to come in and change tires. And these drivers coming in right now can get a free car and come back out. It is my understanding, and this is something I've learned from doing this, that when you get a fast repair, it doesn't necessarily give you a clean set of tires as well. So that would kind of be unfair. Everyone would come and get that fast repair. So let's go ahead and set the stage, Sean. And if there's ever been a driver out in front that has gotten less screen time, I'd be hard-pressed to find anyone more than Donnie Moore. Hi, Donnie. We see you there in that number 26 machine. You are the leader. John Holcomb behind him, Jeff Sharp right behind him, and J.R. Shepard. That's your top four, and that's the way it's been since this thing has gone green. The real excitement has started back here with Richard Blake and Ben Wolfson. Keep an eye on these guys. Joe Marks now up into that 8th position, 7th position, and then Ralph Connor in that precious prized, the snowman spot. Ralph Connor.
And Donnie Moore, your leader still in the Irwin Tools ASPCA sponsored SK Modified, looking really good tonight. Hungry for his first win of the season and a little bit of breathing room in the points with 3 races to go after tonight, Bill.
Yeah, this is not what the rest of the field needs to catch up here. But with the field sizes about 16 or 17 every race, one bad race can really hurt you.
Yes, sir, it can. That is the truth. But Donnie, again, hungry for the win. I'm still shocked that we've gone this long this season. We haven't had a repeat winner tonight. Will we? I've got a little, I put something out there with my other partner, Chris, and I believe I said I'd buy him dinner if we managed to get through this season with a different winner each week. So I've got dinner on the line here, Bill.
Well, I've been here for 2 races. I think that'll at least get me like a side salad on that meal.
I believe that will get you an entree. Yes.
Okay. Hey, let's quickly, before we go green, let's look at the driver in 11th place. Mike Hall to get up into the top 8 today. That's Mike Holloway racing nicely back there in 11th. He's got the fast Phil Temples ahead of him. What Mike might want to do there, see if he can tuck in behind Temples and let Temples lead him up into the promised land, which is the top 8. The pace car is in. We're going green only for the second time tonight, as we've only had 1 yellow flag after 36 laps. The drivers are working on lap 36 right now. It is Donnie Moore out in front. Holcomb in second. Sharp and Shepard now has worked his way up into third around Richard Blake. Keep an eye on J.R. Shepard. He is the car that has made up the most positions, 4 spots since we've gone green at lap number 1.
Lowell Jewell back here digging in 10th place. Phil Temples up to 9th. Lowell's got a little company behind him. Mike Holloway looking for a way to get around. Holloway in the number 31 Fitbit SK Modified. Trying to get it done. Nothing yet. Lowell's starting to run up a little higher on the track. Seen a few guys starting to diamond it off, Bill.
Diamond in the corner. That's an old school trick. Give you a pair of apexes on turn. Give an apex at 1 and an apex at 2.
Holloway looking to the inside.
Passing has been so tough. What Holloway would like to do is get around Jewell, and then he can see if he can get up to Temples. Let's jump ahead to Temples right now in 9th position. Holloway, boy, it's hard to find we don't want to miss Holloway. Holloway really doing a great job on Jewell right now. There you can see all the action as that Dougie Beard camera angle comes right at you. Going up to second.
For second up. Yeah, we got a battle for second. John Holcomb in the inside.
He's in the wall.
Oh, that was Jeff Sharp up in the wall. The 49. He was battling with John Holcomb for second.
Sharp now drops back into 4th, and he's going to lose that as he makes contact with
Richard Blake.
Blake loses it, puts it into the inside on the grass. Is that going to bring out the yellow? Maybe not. I don't think so. He's off the racing surface.
We are still green. Donnie Moore on board right now with Richard Blake. Here is our GSRC replay. You see the 49 up in the wall. He gets by him. Ooh, and then makes a little bit of contact with him, and that sends him spinning down inside. Ouch!
And once you get on that alfalfa, there's really there's no way to control that car. You're just a rider in a rocket at that time.
Yeah, and Richard Blake still sitting in his pit stall. Boy, he was running really well too. The car looked like it was hooked up tonight. The top 3 are running away from it right now, Bill. Donnie Moore, John Holcomb, J.R. Shepard having their own little race up here. Everybody else trying to catch him.
They do, as we ride on board with Shepard right now, looking at the 2 cars ahead of him, Holcomb and Moore. That's the battle for first that he's watching. And they've got quite a distance. It's about 1.5 seconds back to the next battle of 3 between Jeff Sharp, Ben Wolfson, and Joe Marks. Now, I mentioned that about a hard charger. How about 6 positions for Ben Wolfson, currently running in 5th, started in 11th. And right now, maybe we can go look at Wolfson right now. He has taken a peek, Sean, to try to get inside Jeff Sharp.
He sure is. We talked about him a little while ago. Ben Wolfson really on the charge. Sharp been having a little bit of trouble hanging onto the car. Wolfson looking for an advantage now, maybe looking for him to make another mistake.
Oh, we go back. We got a spinner in the back. It's Lowell Jewell. Lowell Jewell is caught up and then collected by some other drivers.
The caution flag is still not out. The 45 of Mike Mahoney down on the inside. Lowell Jewell trying to get back under power. They're coming around just behind him.
He got tangled with Mahoney. Mahoney spun off in the alfalfa. He got the car going straight. Jewell got the car going straight.
Oh, all the while, Ben Wolfson back here trying to get a move on Sharp. They're coming off of 4. There he goes, Bill, down to the inside.
And now you have the drivers working around some lap traffic.
It's Richard Blake down there on the bottom turning into the pit. Oh, he hits the end of the pit wall.
Some cars that have gone a lap down. I believe we look down there, Lowell Jewell is a lap down. Knott is still out there racing a lap down. Mike Maloney is a lap down. No, actually, he's pulled it in. Like you said, Mahoney has pulled it in.
Yeah, Lowell Jewell just pulled it in too. Still a really good battle for fourth place. Ben Wolfson, look at the inside, a little bit of contact. Really good job there by the 49 of Jeff Sharp. Hanging onto the car. It did not break loose.
Sean, I've done more than just a few. Look at the little bump there.
He's laying the horn to him, laying the chrome horn to him there, Bill.
Just saying hello. I've done more than just a few oval races, and I still have no clue about when the automated iRaces officials. Wolfson in the wall. Kent puts the right side tires up against the retaining wall. Looks like he still keeps it going, though. Of why iRacing, sometimes they throw the caution at a blink of an eye and a drop of a hat, and sometimes I'm watching Ben-Hur with people being killed in chariot races, and it just keeps going on. I have no idea what the rules are.
Wolfson is really working on Sharp. And I got to tell you who's having a really great run right behind him with the front row seat. That's Joe Marks. He's trying to hang on, still trying to beat off Philip Temples. Phil just all over him. Phil trying to get a run on the outside of Joe Marks.
Yeah, Temples again trying to race where they aren't, trying to get the outside lane working. And he gets a pretty good bite. Look, I think Temples just kind of just conceded that spot there, Connors just conceded the spot.
Ooh, contact between Wolfson and the 49 of Jeff Sharp, and the yellow flag's out.
Great job from Wolfson to avoid that. Holy moly.
Oh, Nuss coming around just nails him. Let's get to the replay on this.
Oh, there's some good onboard cameras, too, that we can go back and watch your drivers getting out of the way. What are we looking at, Sean?
Well, Jeff Sharp there going into the turn. And Wolfson, they were coming off side by side, and the contact starts, and Sharp gets around sitting there in the middle of the track.
Again, another moving car.
And Ryan Nuss just can't find a way to avoid him. Nails him, destroys the Ryan Nuss's machine.
It looked like the car was moving again. I know it's tough to stay out there and hold it, but let's not put the blame on him. Yeah, the car's... Yeah.
Well, Bill, the barbecue is lit in the Nuss pit.
Now, I guess some of the blame could go to Nuss. I mean, it was out there for a long time, and the yellow flag is slow, and that it's not like you have to worry about... It's not like road course racing where it's... you have to hustle through because you're losing time, but again, I hate to see cars moving around. I got to give a tip of the hat to Joe Marks and Ben Wolfson. Those guys made some great maneuvers to avoid Nuss, who was spinning. We've crossed the halfway mark by several miles here, Sean. We're at lap 57, working lap 58 right now, 42 to go. Donnie Moore been out in front the whole time.
Yeah, he's been impressive. John Holcomb been pretty impressive behind him himself. Holcomb's not let him get too far away. The top three, Moore, Holcomb, and Shepard, have really got this figured out tonight. Everybody else behind him has really just been fighting amongst themselves, and maybe this restart we'll see the field come a little closer together. Phil Temples has worked his way up to fourth. Ben Wolfson's going to be sitting there in fifth to restart this, so we got some bad, fast dudes up here to get restarted.
We do a couple things that I'd like to note. The fact that Moore hasn't been able to pull away from Holcomb might indicate to me that Holcomb maybe has a little bit more left in the tank. Maybe a couple aces in the hole that he might be able to show as the poker hand gets near the end. Hey, Sean, look who's in 8th spot. Who do you see?
That'd be Mike Holloway.
I told you this is his race. If Holloway now, he's got a lap car behind him there of Jewell. If Holloway could just hang on to that spot, He'll be starting up front. Lights are off the pace car. Oh, no,
several cars coming in the pit right now.
We're going to go around one more time.
Yeah, Lowell Jewell, Lucas Denziano, and Mike Mahoney, all three coming into the pit. I guess they're going to try and get... no, actually, Bill, I think they got off cycle, and I think they had the guys drive through so they could cycle back.
Yeah, to get the lap cars out of the way.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what they've done. Now, Mike Mahoney finds... Oh, there's the green flag. They threw it quick, Bill. We're back on it.
Look at that battle. Forget the lead. Look at the battle for fourth position right now. Temple's Temple's running in fifth, and that's Wolfson, who has got around him on the outside. Wolfson moves into fourth. More up in front, how he's been the entire race so far, all 63 laps. But he has not been able to drive away from John Holcomb. J.R. Shepard also has been in there, but we haven't seen what Ben Wolfson has. It's taken him, Sean, 63 laps to get up there where he can get his name mentioned with the leaders, and now we'll see what he can do. He's had the car in the outside wall once, but maybe it was just a gentle little tap. Let's see what that number 37 machine can do. Currently running in fourth. Temple's back there in fifth.
Temple's just looking for an opportunity. Having a really solid run. Oh, back of the field, Lucas Denziano on the inside of Lowell Jewell. Those two almost get together. Lowell was loose coming off of four. Almost makes contact with Denziano. Able to hang on to the car. Denziano able to take the position away from Lowell. That was for 12th place.
Let's go up to the lead again. Let's go to the second place driver, John Holcomb. Watch Holcomb now trying to work the track, trying to find a way around more. He's starting to investigate the high line. He's trying to investigate the low line, seeing where he can get this done. Look at the bite that he gets off there. I think if he could get around more, I think he knows that he could drive away. But Moore is just making that car as wide as it can be. Moore hitting every spot, racing as smooth as blended whiskey. Holcomb now starting to get a little bit panicky, racing like a ferret thrown in the bathtub, scratching, clawing, looking for any way around Moore, but Moore continues to hit his marks.
Yes, he does, and their pace is so close right now, it's making it just so much tougher for Holcomb to find any real advantage, and like you said, Donnie just seems to find himself in the right spot of the track when he needs to be, but John... getting a nice run off of four. They're side by side across the line, going into one.
You're not going to get this opportunity too often. Holcomb's going to try to make it work, but he loses all the momentum, and that's going to cost him second position as well. But now look at the drive that Shepard gets. Shepard with the spot at the lead, but he's not going to be able to get it done. On the outside, watching everything happen is Ben Wolfson. Wolfson looking for a way around Holcomb. Wilson with a great run off the four, but he can't get it done. A lot of exciting fighting going on in front. Meanwhile, the guy who still holds the lead is Donnie Moore with 31 laps to go.
30 laps across the line. The Outlaw Modifieds are out of the gate and running, baby. This is a great race going on up here at the front of the field. J.R. Shepard finds himself in second place, looking to Donnie Moore to take it away.
Oh, and Holloway has spun off. It's not going to bring out the yellow, but what it is going to do is cost him any chance of getting inside the magical 8th position. Almost had it, Mike. He's going to fall back now into 11th.
Catching it on the replay here just real quick. It looks like Mike got in and just lost it. Maybe got on the power a little bit too quick.
No, I think he got a little bit
of help there, maybe.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the lead now as we have J.R. Shepard taking a peek inside. Can't get it done. The Shepard trying to find a way around. He's got the lap car of Holloway in front of him. Holloway does a great job of staying out of the way. Shepard with a run off of 2. Still no room into 3. And watching the whole thing happen back there is the driver who's moved up, falling back into 3rd now, and that's Holcomb. And Wolfson still looking for a way to go. What's going on here, Sean, is that Moore, I hate to say it, but Moore is holding up the 4 cars behind him.
Maybe so. I'll tell you. Oh, the caution's out.
We don't see
Oh, it looks like Nuss. Oh, Nuss is on his lid and spinning around.
Nuss, that. Looking for it on replay right now. Boy, he's put it in the wall. That's about the dozenth time, and finally the wall says, enough.
He slides all the way down there on his lid, all the way up the turn. Man, ouch.
For good measure, the wall spanked him one more time.
Take a ride in on board. See what it looks like from inside. Little thing I like to call Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Those outside wheels, they'll grip that wall. They think it's part of the track, and they'll turn you.
Well, with the offset of the modified, the depth perception, it's tough. You've got to have a lot of experience in these cars, and I know Ryan does. As much experience as you may have, sometimes it just comes out and bites you, Bill.
I know exactly what you mean. I put a couple races in here in this series, and I'd never spent a lap in the modified. It's a little unsettling because you don't sit quite in the middle of the machine.
Yeah, it really is. It is. I mean, if you don't have any experience driving the modified here on the iRacing service, please get one. Drive it. They're so much fun, but you've got to get used to that offset. You're kind of sitting in the middle of the machine, not all the way over to the left like you are in a cup car or a traditional, road racing car. You're almost in the middle of the car, and those tires are set way off to the right there. And yeah, you've got the Nerf bar, but it seems like the wheel and the tires seem to make contact first before that Nerf bar does. It's recessed just enough to where those tires stick out, and when they grab the concrete, it's not any fun. As Ryan Nuss just found out.
Getting the wave around is Mike Holliday. First car one lap down now, running in 10th. Looking for the driver in that magical, I call it the snowman position, number 8. That's Jeff Sharp right now. And again, that 8th spot is so important because if you can finish 8th, that means that you will be on the pole for the very next race. And ask Donnie Moore what it's like to be on the pole. He would say, it's nice.
Donnie is in command. Been really solid on these couple of restarts before this one. We get to see him do his thing here again.
And my apologies to the Donnie Moore fan club, his friends, his children, his mom, but I don't think you're the fastest car out there tonight. But what you are is the whitest car out there. As Donnie Moore gets a great start as he crosses the start-finish line, he is working now, lap 80, 21 to go.
And Donnie was a rocket ship on that restart. Hey, Bill, it's time to go. It's time to boogie, baby. Let's party. 20 to go.
Shepard running in second now. Again, he is so smooth. Remember, he got that second position kind of handed to him when Holcomb had a real good chance to take the lead.
Oh, look at Stinziano in the wall back here. Lowell Jewell made contact with him. Stinziano up in the wall on his side.
Yeah.
He's going to have to eject before they come back around or the yellow's going to come out.
He's upside down and still no yellow. And he leaves. We stay green.
He was able to get that car on the hook and towed.
There's the yellow. Do you think
Maybe.
it's from the same incident?
Boy, I don't know, Bill. I thought the car had been cleared.
Philip Temples is backwards. Temples got into it with Ben Woodson. Woodson. Both those cars spin off. Now
Temples was on the inside. Oh, and then Temples makes a little bit of door to Nerf bar contact. Actually, it was a little bit of wheel to Nerf bar contact with Wolfson. Both of those cars get around, and that's what brings out your yellow flag.
Again, I got one car spinning, doing pinwheels on his hood. No yellow flag. I got two cars with a nice, comfortable spin into the grass, brings out the yellow. I have no clue of how it works. All I know is that it's out right now, and we are on lap 17. Probably there's only one guy that's happy to see that, and that's Donnie Moore right now, who has led wire to wire.
Yeah, I think he would take as many of these caution flags as he could get right now as the laps wind down. The less laps he's got to battle for, the better. Obviously, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but that's simple math. The way J.R. Shepherd is running right now, you know what? If I am Donnie, I'm a little nervous about that. JR's been strong. I don't know if Holcomb's got enough for Shepherd right now. This restart will be critical, Bill.
And you might be thinking, if you're new to this series, you might be counting the laps. He's got 16 to go, no problem, plenty of time to do it. Well, really, Shepherd and Holcomb can't wait that long because a yellow could come out anytime, and there is no green-white checker here. If a yellow flag comes out, well, what would you say, Sean? 5 to go. Pretty much it'll finish under yellow. So if you're going to make a move, you cannot afford to wait to the end.
Well, these caution laps aren't very long. I think they're 4 laps.
Maybe 4, okay.
Yeah, so 5 is definitely going to be the window there.
Well, if you're looking at 5 to go and you're still not in this position you want to be in, you're starting to feel pretty nervous there. The pace car, the lights stay on. This is going to roll around one more time. As Donnie Moore crosses the finish line right now, he will be working on lap 86. 15 to go. Plenty of time. Here comes the wave around for the number 5 machine, Lowell Jewell. Again, let's take a quick look before they go green at the driver in the magical snowman position, and that's Ben Wolfson right now. Even after that little excursion into the alfalfa, he's able to get that car going straight. The lights are off the pace car as they work. Lap number 87, 88 as they cross the line this time. They'll be unlucky 13 to go. Donnie Moore out in front. J.R. Shepherd has been pestering them.
Well, Bill, this has been a pretty quick and tidy race. I think we're going to get a quick and tidy finish here. Here we go. Donnie Moore stacking them up.
Moore did a great job of snapping up. Shepherd was right on his tail, and right as soon as Shepherd got to the back of Moore, Moore put the floored gas to the floor and took off. Shepherd following him now, running in second. Back in third is Holcomb. Still in the hunt is Joe Marks. He's in fourth, but he's not really in the mix. We're going to keep our attention focused on the front here now for these final 12 laps to see how this plays out. Moore, Shepherd, and Holcomb are the guys to keep an eye on. Holcomb starting to fall off the pace as Shepherd right behind Moore now. Shepherd looking to the inside. Will he be able to do it cleanly? Is he going to give him a little tap, Sean? Not yet.
Shepherd in his tracks, trying to just get a run on him. Nice run off of 2. Shepherd giving up just a little bit to Moore. John Holcomb starting to creep back into the picture just a bit. You see Shepherd get a good run off of 4 there. Not bad as they head down into 1. He goes a little bit higher on the track right there. It's going to give Holcomb a look.
And that's what Donnie Moore needs to see, a little battling going behind between Shepherd and Holcomb. That's exactly. Look at the bite, though. Since Shepherd was so far back, he gets a great run. He's got the scent of Donnie Moore like he's a hound dog chasing Cool Head Luke. Does Donnie Moore have any chili pepper to put down to throw the hounds off the scent? I don't know. Shepherd now stalking him in second place. Still nowhere to go. Moore out in front. Being perfect. He's been perfect all night. One mistake will cost him the win, but Moore continues to be perfect as there's 9 to go, Sean.
9 very fast laps to go. Donnie Moore trying to hang on, get his first win of the season. Shepherd gets the horn to him just a little bit. Shepherd running out of patience. Not much time to get it done here, Bill.
Honk him once, honk him twice. Neither one worked, but both were very gentle little taps. But Shepherd now with 7 to go. It's getting to the point where he's got to worry about the yellow flag. So he can't wait too long. But he also's got to be careful because if he battles too much, he'll lose that position to Holcomb, who's in what we call the popcorn position. Back there with some butter flavoring and a large soda, looking at the show ahead of him. That is Shepherd and Moore.
It's a really great battle. Is he going to pull this off? He gets up on him again. Gets a nice run at Moore. Coming off of turn 4. J.R. Shepherd not giving up yet. He can't. Not much time left here, Bill. 5 laps to go.
They work lap 96. When they cross the start-finish line this time, they'll be 4. They are in jeopardy of the yellow flag coming out and putting an end to this nonsense. So Shepard has to be careful. He's got to be praying that Moore makes a mistake, and he also has to be praying that the drivers behind him all behave. Those positions back there matter to them as well, and they're fighting all the way through from 3rd to 10th. But right now, the battle is up front. Moore crossing the start-finish line right now, and there are 3 laps to go. Shepard looking for a way to go, Sean. He can't find it. That car is so wide of Donnie Moore's. He's got it planted right in the middle. Shepard can't find a way to go. Looking for, he's going to give him a little tap. Now he tries to get some bite on the inside. Moore with a great bite off of 4. 2 to go.
Shepard just digging as hard as he can. Trying not to wreck it, but trying to get around him. It's almost impossible.
Ryan Nuss pulls the car over to the inside, and they get around. As they come around here, they're going to see the white flag. Donnie Moore trying to make it wire to wire. Shepard, JR looking for somewhere to go. JR takes the car down low. He tries to get a great bite off of 2. He's got about a car length behind as they go into 3. Watch Shepard dive that car in there. He's got to run on it, but it's not going to happen. He can't get a bite. I think he's going to bring it home. Wire to wire, 100 laps in the lead. Your winner is Donnie Moore of round 8 of the Bootleg Racing League. Outlaw Series, Shepard 2nd, Holcomb 3rd, Joe Marks 4th, Tim Knott in 5th. Mike Holloway in 6th position.
Donnie Moore, 8th different winner this season, leading the points championship here in the Outlaw Modified Series. He's also leading in a couple of other series here in the Bootleg Racing League. It's the season of Moore, Bill, as Donnie gets his celebration on just a little bit out there across the stripes.
Ralph Connor and Philip Temples round out the Magic 8. Okay, let's take a break. I'll take a sip of some tea with lemon juice in it. We'll be back to run down the entire standings, do interviews, and post-race credits back in just a short time. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Bootleg Racing Leagues. This is the Outlaw Modified Series, Round 8 from Thompson Speedway. And if a wire-to-wire victory can be exciting, then we just saw one. Donnie Moore leads all 100 laps, but I don't know if he was ever more than 0.3 of a second ahead of anybody. Moore comes home, your 8th winner of the season, 8th different winner in as many tries. You got to appreciate the rules of this series that sets that up. J.R. Shepard tried everything he could to get it done, but couldn't find a way around that.
And John Holcomb, you know what? Hats off to the guy. He was fighting hard. He was able to hold off Joe Marks, who finishes 4th. But John spending most of the evening there up front battling.
And there with Joe Marks in 4th. Then 5th and 6th, Tim Knotts. And then in 6th position, how about this? I wrote off Mike Holloway when I saw him spinning through the weeds there, but he brings it back, finishes on the lead lap in 6th position. Look for Holloway to be starting inside of row 3 next race. Who do you got in 7th and 8th, Sean?
Well, Ralph Connor was fighting pretty hard this evening. Didn't quite work out for him, unfortunately. He'll take 7th. Phil Temples, 8th place. That's what he's got to settle for after driving really hard up front there, doing some great racing early. But that's going to be an 8th place finish for Phil.
That's that magic spot that puts Temple on the pole for our next race. That would make him the odds-on favorite to be our first 2-time winner. Hey, Ben Wolfson with a great run in 9th, and Lowell Jewell, first car 1 lap down, brought it home inside the top 10. Sean?
Yes, sir. And in 11th, that's going to be Jeff Sharp tonight. The number 49, 11th place. Mike Mahoney making his debut here tonight in the Outlaw Modified Series. The Thompson 100. He'll take 12th.
Ryan Nuss was trying to just see how strongly built that outside wall is. He found out that it's pretty darn strong as he finished on his lid. Lucas Stinciana in 14th position, and then rounding out our 15th and final finisher, last but not least, Richard Blake. Okay, let's go to interview. Sean, if you found somebody there, maybe our race winner that you can talk to?
Let's bring in the driver to number 26, Irwin Tools, ASPCA SK Modified. Our winner, Donnie Moore. Donnie, congratulations. You finally get your first one of the season here in a Modified.
No kidding, huh? They say you can't win on the first lap, but I think that's exactly what I did tonight. Starting on the inside like that, I knew that might be my only chance to get in front, and because it's tough to pass here. So yeah, great racing.
Donnie, I think you took advantage of those boys a little bit there on the start of the race. You seemed like you got a really nice jump on it, and everybody fell asleep on you.
Well, I don't know. Boy, John and JR, both of them, geez, right there every lap. I don't know if there was a lot of passing going on, but it might have been a dull race to watch, but it wasn't from the cockpit.
Well, it never looked like JR wanted to spin you. He laid the horn to you a couple of times. You talked about that great racing behind you. Donnie, car looked a little wide at times. JR, did he have anything for you? You think you had him at bay well enough?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. But geez, both of them, John and JR, all every lap they were right there. So I don't know. I didn't mean to make the car wide. I mean, I wasn't going to give them the inside line. I mean, they could have the inside line. I wasn't giving the outside.
Well, I'll tell you what. You ran a magnificent one tonight. How about this crazy season? You are now the 8th winner in 8 races. What do you think about the way this season's gone down so far?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Just shows you the competition in here. Yeah, to widen the points lead, though, this was an important race here with three races remaining. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, you needed a little bit of separation. You got it tonight. You got to feel pretty good about that heading into next week. We're heading to another classic track in Old Sobo down there in South Boston, Virginia. How's that one? I think that's a favorite of yours, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The last 3 actually are. So we're looking forward to it.
And Donnie, you're leading the points in a couple of other series here in the Bootleg Racing League. I said during the broadcast, is this the season of more?
The season of more. That's funny. I don't know. I had caught a few breaks this year, and so I've caught a few breaks.
Hey, Donnie, do us all a favor. Say a little something about that great organization you represent on your car every week.
Oh, the SPCA. Thanks, Sean. Well, there should be one in every town just about across the America, and I throw a few bucks in there for the animals. Appreciate it.
Well, Donnie, we certainly appreciate you, and congratulations on finally picking up your first win of the season. It only took you 8 races to do it. You're in command in the point zone. You got to love that. We are going to throw it to Bill. He is caught up with the man who is chasing you, J.R. Shepard.
You know, old-time race fans, when you think of car number 98, I think of J.C. Agajanian, the car owner out here from Ascot Park, and then, of course, I think of Parnelli Jones. But today, the number 98 belongs to your second-place finisher, J.R. Shepard. J.R., congratulations on a great run. Just couldn't quite get it done there at the end.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. That was a fun run up through the pack. Had to start in the back, but Donnie, he did exactly what he needed to do, and it was fun racing him tonight.
Well, JR, I went back and looked at your battle through the pack. You started 8th. Do you know that you were not passed by a single car today? You started 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, worked your way all the way up. Nobody got around you. You just only thing that kept you from the win, you ran out of time.
Yeah, it was a fun run through the pack, definitely. I found myself in the right place a few times and took advantage of a few guys. I think John was trying to pass Donnie there, and I got by him that way. But it was a fun run.
Going through the field, were you able to get a nose down underneath, or could you make the high line work and get a bite off?
I was better trying to get a bite off the high line. I tried the low line one time, I think, when I was behind John, and the car got extremely loose, and I lost some ground. So I stuck to the high line for the most part.
Okay, let me get inside your head here, between the ears, when you get to those last few laps there. First of all, I got to commend you on racing clean. Was there ever a thought of trying to get a little bit of a bump to get him out of the way?
There was a little bit. If I could have gotten to him just a little bit, I may have given him a little tap, but nothing violent to get him sideways or anything like that, because Donnie's a great guy and we race a lot, so I wanted to make sure it was done clean.
Well, it was impressive, and I'm sure that Donnie Moore appreciates it, although he didn't need the help in the points. It's going to be harder for you to run him down now. He keeps edging out a little bit farther every race.
Yeah, he's definitely a great competitor. He's a previous champion in this league, so it's going to be hard to chase him down. We got a few more races left.
All right. Well, here's the good news. He'll be behind you next time. All right. He'll be on the outside. If you just keep him behind you, that'll help him a little bit. So good luck the rest of the season in the championship chase.
All right. Thanks, guys.
J.R. Shepard, your second place finisher and a darn clean racer in my book. John, who you got?
John Holcomb, number 69, biggest Indianapolis Colts fan I know. John, what a battle up there tonight here at Thompson Speedway. Congratulations on getting to the podium, sir.
Thanks, Sean. It was a pretty good race. Hope it was good for the spectators.
Boy, it certainly was. Tell us a little bit about that battle. I know you were trying to get to Donnie and make a move on him, and the battle between you and J.R. Shepard was classic, man. That was some really good racing.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I laid back a little bit on Donnie because it's just really difficult to pass there, so I was afraid to put myself out. Once I did, JR, rightly so, took advantage of it.
Just couldn't seem to find your way back around him. You know, we were talking about it during the broadcast and how easy it is to make contact with the wall with these modifieds being a little bit offset there, and you found that concrete a few times. Does that really affect the handling on the machine a whole lot?
It definitely can. Luckily, I didn't get into it too bad. It may look like it because of the way it wheel hops, but if you get into it good, it'll really hurt you. But I just barely grazed it a couple times.
Well, it's certainly a solid run tonight. You've got to be happy with that finish as we head into South Boston, Virginia. What do you think about your chances as we head there? You're 7th in points right now. Going into tonight, you get a good finish. Probably going to help you out here a little bit. Matt Shinosky wasn't here tonight, so you'll probably move up just a bit. Tim Knott was behind you, so yeah, good week heading into South Boston. What do you think about next week?
I'm hoping we can repeat and get back up in the front at South Boston. It's a pretty fun track to run. It's a little tighter, but it ought to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting up there. I could use the points, that's for sure.
Well, you're not mathematically eliminated from anything yet, sir, and you've got 3 races to go. And I got to be honest, John, the car looks pretty hot right now.
Yeah, it felt pretty good tonight. It really was good, but I got to give Donnie credit, man. He put on a good pace tonight, and JR sure was running good too.
Well, John, we look forward to seeing you next week down there in South Boston, Virginia. You have a great week. Safe travel to you, and we'll see you then.
I appreciate it, guys, and another shout out to Bill and Pam out in New York. They're dedicated spectators to the Bootleg League, and I hope we're putting on a good show for you guys and all the other spectators. We'll see you next week.
All right, that is John Holcomb, driver of the number 69 Indianapolis Colts SK Modified, Bill.
Absolutely. What a great race today, and that's going to wrap it up for us. But don't leave yet, because here's the important part coming up. I want everyone to pay attention to these sponsor plugs. These are the people that make this happen. We'd like to thank the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have many choices of airlines when you fly, and we want to thank you for flying GSRC. For more series information about the Bootleg Racing League, try facebook.com bootleg/racing league. I think that'll get you there. Or bootlegracingleague.com will work. You know, fans can read weekly race recaps written by Chris Wolfson at iRacing News. Hey, Sean, you can also have your name on this series. They're looking for new partnerships and sponsors, so contact Lowell and the guys over at bootlegracingleague.com/partnership. This series is on iRacing Live, and the viewership is strong. And just think how successful your woman will think you are if your business or your workplace is on right here sponsoring one of these races. I mean, that's reason alone to sponsor one. Thanks to the companies and equipment and software that we use on the broadcast that you see on the screen right now. The original music that you've heard on today's broadcast, well, that's thanks to Eric Eckelm and Casey Lalonde. Go to the screen there and see how to contact them to get some of their digital music. I recommend it. Thanks to my mic mate, Sean Ambrose, our director, Joe Peak, Dougie Beard, for those wonderful camera locations. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can go to the best bet, of course, is always globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. The Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series returns June 11th for round 9. For information about all GSRC broadcasts and events, go to globalsimracingchannel.com. Of course, Global Sim Racing Channel will be there to cover that event. And now that the housekeeping is out of the way, it's time for us to go off and have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean like you saw J.R. Shepherd do, race hard like you saw Donnie Moore do, and we'll see you on the track.